I am live. Good evening, everyone. Hold on a sec. I gotta do my usual. I'll go ahead and share it. Good evening, everyone. And I do appreciate you guys for if you're watching on replay. Thank you so much for watching on replay. And I am not going to be long. I just want to get to my page and share it, and then we can have some discussions. We can chat. There we go. All right. So I have shared it. Well, good evening. Good evening. Happy Monday. This is another episode of Mondays with Miko. And I'm gonna go in today, y'all. I'm gonna go in. We're gonna have some serious conversations. The purpose of this conversation is moving Mullins to a strong mayor form of government. And I'm going to intermingle into our conversation today some other things that we've been talking about, right? And so that way we can see kind of how things relate on the bigger grand scheme of things. And so I can read the room. I can read the room, y'all. I know that it's heavy out there. A lot of people either they don't like the way I've been treated, or some people think I should be treated even more harder. The innuendos and things that are out there. But the one thing I've always said is that I'm gonna be transparent and honest with you guys, and that is what I've always been. So today, right now, on this Facebook Live, share it, like and share it, like and share it. On this Facebook Live, this is not just another conversation. This is not just another Mondays with Miko. This is about the future of Mullins. And right now, decisions are being made. If you ain't paying attention, if you don't watch the news, if you're not on Facebook Live, I know everybody's not on social. So for those that are on social and that are telling people, I appreciate you. These decisions are being made, and they shape how our city operates, how quickly we move, and who is truly accountable to you, the people. And the question is very simple. Do we keep a system that slows us down, or would you choose one that will move us forward? So, coming into this seat as your elected mayor, I've had challenges all along the way. But all along the way, I never stopped working for you. Be it the very first meeting where I presented an opportunity for workforce housing, committees that would move us along the line of economic development, and city council keeping them informed all along the way as well. You know, whether they want to hear it or not. But this is where Mullins, it is super important. It is super, super important. And I wish I had a banner for this. You know what? I'm going to do a banner before I even say it. I'm going to do a banner because this is so important. So important because I keep hearing this everywhere I go. And by the way, I'm out in these streets. So if you guys need to, I'll meet with one person, two people, three people, 10 people. It doesn't matter. Let's talk, because I believe it's not about Miko Pickett either. It's much, much bigger than me, right? It's much, much bigger than me. It took 154 years before Miko Pickett got this door in Mullins. 154 years. So it's not about me. And it's not political. It's practical. Right? So let's remember that. It's not political. It's practical. So let's talk about it. So I am going to go through okay, let me go back a little bit. Today, very, very skillfully done, Charlie Barano with Municipal Association presented on the multiple types of government in the state of South Carolina. And I'm going to be putting out some of those facts. I don't have them ready, because I literally just left up the street and came here to hop on a live. But a couple things that you will see is that all the cities around us are on strong mayor system. Marion, Nichols, Sellers, all the other cities in Marion County except for Mullins. You will see that the strong mayor system is the most popular system in South Carolina, the most used system in South Carolina. Now, that being said, I am suggesting that we move to the strong mayor system, not because it's cool, not because it's popular, but because it is the right thing to do right now for our city. Right? We are at a critical moment. We're at a cusp where, we can grow and we can go far. Or there may be some people, and I ain't saying, but there may be some people who don't want us to go nowhere. Some people that kind of like how it's been. Some people who may have been on the receiving side of this whole thing. So I have some slides, and I'm going to be like a little box in here because I'm going to go through some slides, and we're going to talk about some things. And I hope that's okay. As usual, please put your comments in. But yeah, we're going to talk about some things. It may take me a little minute to get your comments because I took some time and created some slides. So let's start with the first one. All right, where we go? This one right here. Okay, so what we have right now in the city is a weak mayor system. Now, one thing that Charlie said today is he doesn't like the word weak. I don't like the word weak either because I ain't weak. However, just so that everybody, because, there's others on city council that have been pushing this, that have been saying we have a weak mayor form of government. So let's just lean into that, right? Let's just lean into it. Let's explain what that means. And then we're going to explain, from my perspective, what change may look like, right? So we have right now is a weak mayor system, right? So basically, as your mayor, I have very limited executive authority. So what's that mean? So let's say if you call me and you say, hey, mayor, my trash hasn't been picked up, I can't even call the director directly. I ask the administrator and she tells the director. Or if you say, hey, mayor, I heard gunshots in my neighborhood and I'm afraid to call the police. Well, I can ask questions, I can advocate, right? But I can't do anything directly, and I will say we do have, Chief, if I ask him, he's like, you know what, I'll send some patrols around there. So he is really good with that, and I do appreciate that. However, I don't have the ability. People think I do. You're the mayor, right? And so it's frustrating for a lot of folks when they come to me, right? So, but that is the fact, right? With this system, I have limited executive authority. Now, other mayors, you may not have noticed it before. It's never happened where a mayor has had their ability in 75 years. There's never been a mayor in the city of Mullins that couldn't create committees, but I can. Why? Because the communities were doing some good things. We had beautification going, which is key to economic development. We have programs for children, literacy, right? So I can't create, those committees are out there. I can't create any more. And it also makes it very difficult to operate the committees, right? So that's never been done in 75 years. So I'm trying to tell you, things are being changed. In terms of removing this temporary suspension of me, my political lynching, that's never been done in modern history. Never. And I can go on and on and on with things that this city council has done with their power that's never been done before. Now, you may say, well, Miko, did you try? Right? What have you done? Well, listen, when I first got elected, I absolutely reached out to everybody. How do you want to be contacted? I have been ignored. I've presented opportunities in front of city council that won't even get listened to, that won't even get a vote, that won't even get a discussion. Good things for the city, over and over again. Things that could increase revenue in the city. The things that I have been able to do is because I just been able to do, such as getting additional $130,000 a year in revenue from our water. Because those were already things that were out there. It just needed somebody to come in and lead and make it happen. So with the weak mayor form of government, and you all are seeing it, you may not have saw it before, maybe city council didn't mind a man as mayor, and I'm female. And I do what I do. I stand on business, I stand on transparency. So we see that power is spread across council, right? Now, keep in mind, I'm going to talk to you about the strong mayor system in a second. Council does not lose power in the strong mayor system. But what happens in the weak mayor system that we're in right now is that they're delayed decisions. And all the other cities in Marion County are a strong mayor, with the exception of Mullins. And we've seen Mullins. People tell me about the good old days, about the factories that was open, how people would come to Mullins. We still have those bones. We can be that. But our system is stopping us, it's slowing us down, and it's doggone there making it impossible. There is no clear accountability. People are so confused. Listen, I was looking at some of the comments from the city council meeting where they were talking about the budget overruns for OBS, and people had it all confused. There's a lack of clear accountability. Who's responsible for what? Keep in mind, in a weak mayor system, we're all responsible. There's no one throat to choke. And I am sitting here telling you all that I'll be that one throat to choke because I know Mullins has greater. It is very difficult to execute long-term plans or even to create a strategic plan. The very first thing that I knew that we needed to get was we needed to have a strategic plan. So made it happen. We got the strategic plan. City council was involved in it. They had multiple sessions. They won't even discuss the strategic plan. The strategic plan that will help us to bring grants into our city. The strategic plan that will help us to bring businesses and resources and revenue and jobs into our city. Won't even discuss it. And they were involved in the creation of it. So, you guys think you expect me to lead, but I'm telling you, I hear you. You guys call me, you see me in the streets, you see me at church. I come to your church, you go to my church. You expect me to lead, but I can't. I cannot. Not the way you need me to, right? And so I have been working the system as best I could. But you see, with the majority, with the 5-2 majority, and that doesn't mean that Terry and I always agree. As you can see, we debate things, but since practicality is practicality, it's not politics, it's what is just practical. We ain't always going to agree, but we got to be able to have the discussion and for people to be able to make decisions for the good of the folk. I'm trying to keep some of my personal opinions out of it because it's not about Miko Pickett. It's about what is best for Mullins. So, and again, all the other cities in Marion County got strong mayor. Striving cities all around us have strong mayor or council. And you have council. This is what we need, y'all. We need a strong mayor and we need a council that works together. If we have that, that's like nirvana. Our city will take off and fly. All right, so let's talk about strong mayor. So basically what strong mayor is the mayor is the chief executive officer of the city. So imagine if you have a business. You got a job, right? You got a job. And it's not about the CEO reports to the board. The CEO reports to the voters. So everybody's accountable to somebody, but somebody has to have clear authority to hire and manage department heads and to direct those daily operations. Right now, it is the city administrator. I will work with the city administrator, but I do have a background, and when we hire future people, aka elect folks, we need to make sure we're electing people that can lead, that can manage, and implement policies that are passed by council. So I'm gonna give you an example. We have been able to get a what's that called? A food truck ordinance passed. We haven't been able to implement it. It takes leadership to implement it. And the council does not lose power. Unlike what they did to me, the little bit of power that I had, and I don't even want to call it power, right? The little bit of, you know, by tradition that mayors had, signing proclamations, presiding over meetings, doing the agendas, um, you know, ceremonial things. That little bit they temporarily took away. And who knows, right? So council, though, in the strong form of government, they are still focusing on passing laws, setting policy, and providing oversight. So Charlie called it a dance, and it absolutely is a dance. This is why I was saying that we need to bring, I am saying, City of Mullins, we need to switch our form of government so that we are in alignment with what a city our size needs. And also, we need to make sure that we have a city council that is working together. Those things have to dance. They got to go in lockstep together. So what are the key benefits? I'm going to start with this one first. No. Where are you at? There it is. Key benefits. First key benefit is accountability. Citizens, you need to know exactly who's responsible for results. I was at the meeting today. Somebody asked a question. They said, well, hey, look, if I got an issue with my neighbor, or I have an issue with a law that ain't right, who's responsible? And so it depends. If it's an ordinance, yes, the whole city council, we got to work together, which is why we got to elect the city council that can work together. But also, your mayor your strong mayor will be responsible, will be accountable for the performance of the departments. So yes, she will be responsible, and whoever we elect next will be responsible. No more confusion or finger pointing, right? Well, who do I call? Who's responsible? Your mayor is your chief executive. As strong mayor, your mayor will be your chief executive. That's the person who's responsible. Right now, who knows? Oh, you got to get all the council to agree. Well, we know that ain't happening unless it's their way. I kind of wonder. Okay. And the leadership becomes visible and very measurable, right? So we'll have, as strong mayor, I will have the responsibility to report back to council, like I have been doing with my mayor reports. But I will have that responsibility. But when the trash is piling up all over the streets like it is right now, then you know who's responsible. It's your mayor. It's your mayor. Right now, it's council. Who is it? But again, we're in a weak mayor form of government right now. So I'm going to go back to trash for a little bit. The trash is a symptom of the real problem, and the real problem is leadership. So what are some other benefits? Efficiency and speed. And somebody actually did ask this question today. Faster decision making during emergencies and economic opportunities. Community concerns, right? So we can eliminate unnecessary delays. So, if you come to me and you say, something as simple as my trash hasn't been picked up, my dumpster hasn't been picked up, I have to make a phone call to somebody who makes a phone call to somebody else. And in my view, after we make so many of those phone calls, we need to look at the structure. There's a problem with the structure. But right now, I have no influence at all over the structure. I could just make a call to somebody who makes a call. The difference is that your mayor, although she's in a weak form of government, she's there, right? I'm in the office. I'm making those phone calls. It's happening, but it's a better way of doing it. All right, so let me see. Stronger economic development, right? So businesses do prefer cities with a couple things I'm finding out. Definitely clear leadership, right? So if a business is looking to move to Mullins, they want to meet with the mayor. And they want to know that we have the learn about our city. What are the top priorities in our city? What are your strategic plans? Right? So in Mullins, we have 6 districts. Each city council member has a district that they are responsible for, that they're voted. I am voted in at large. So I am responsible, or I'm voted in by voters of all districts, the entire city. So they want to meet with me. And they want to be able to get quick decision making. You know another thing that they want? They want a building official. They don't want delays when it comes to their permits because time is money. As a strong mayor, I could do what I have not been able to do yet. And that is I can recruit, negotiate. I can't close deals without counsel. I did put closed deals there, but I could bring some really good deals to the table. Some really good deals to the table. And there's certain things that don't involve a vote of council. And there's other things that would just be like a no-brainer. We open up one of our 4 abandoned factories and we're able to, bring revenue to the table. That's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome, right? So folks are talking about, we're a poor city. We don't have this money. We got what other cities don't have. We once had these amazing bones, our train station, our factories, our main street. Look, the city of Mullins, we got don't let nobody tell you what we can't have. I'm trying to tell you. We could do it, but we got to work together. We got to do this thing together. We are stronger together. And we have to have the right structure to make it happen. And we have to have the right people at the table. And better service to citizens of Mullins, right? So, issues can be addressed immediately and directly. Mayor, I like to see us have lawn chair, in the park over there. Let's put some tables and chairs out. Well, we got tables and chairs, and if the citizens, that's what they want, let's go ahead and put the tables and chairs out. Let's make it happen. And I could step in and resolve problems without bureaucratic barriers because of the direct leadership of those departments: Parks and Rec, Public Works, Police, Fire, Building Department. It's a big difference. So, why does it matter? Well, it matters because Mullins has untapped potential, but we need decisive leadership to move forward. What I mean by untapped potential, I kind of said it. We have the factories. Let's bring some jobs in. Let's deal with housing. Let's deal with flooding in our communities. Let's fix our own houses up, right? So there's opportunities and where the city could work with the state to make home improvements and get revenue to fund the program at the same time. So the net cost to the city is 0. There's a lot that we can do with leadership, with leveraging things that are available to us as a community by having maybe a different way of thinking about things, right? I look at opportunities, and those opportunities are there. And there's other people. So you may say, there's other people behind me that are also looking at those opportunities. Let's work together. Our community definitely faces economic challenges, infrastructure needs, 200 houses that are abandoned. We got to address this. There's so much opportunities for growth. So many. I talk to business owners all the time. They want to grow. Let's connect. How about we connect with some investors? How about we bring some investors to town? They're inboxing me all the time. So if we move to a strong mayor system, it's going to allow us to go from reactive to proactive. Because I'm telling you, day one, that's what we're doing. We're being proactive. And there's folks waiting on the sideline to see what happens because Mullins is the place to be. It is. We're right there we're dead smack between the beach and Florence. Boom. There's a lot. And so Mullins, you've already created a strategic plan. Now we could take that strategic plan and turn it into real results. So I told you I was going to be talking today, but I wanted to go through this, and I'm hoping you guys have some questions. So if you have, I haven't gone and looked at the comments, but if you have questions, put them in there. And I promise you, I'm almost through my last few slides. Almost there. So, I hear what folks are saying, right? Because change is difficult. Now, they have no problems changing ordinances that have been that way for 75 years. This exists in city council. They didn't have no problem trying to change how we vote when we've been voting the same way for 30 years. Why do you think they're doing this? They didn't have no problem, changing mayor's powers temporarily. None. But if the citizens say, you know what, let's have the conversation about changing our form of government, that's too much change. What about all that? So, some of the things, there's too much power in one person. No, it's not. That's not how it ever works. All those form of governments, there's not, Miko Pickett is, people have said, I want to be dictator. But what about the majority of other cities in South Carolina that use this form of government? They're not dictators. It's not about being a dictator. It's about selecting the type of government that's good to move our city forward. And City of Mullins, you guys are tuned in. I know when we have future elections that we're going to pick people that are qualified, especially as we move our city forward. So those checks and balances definitely exist. City council is responsible for all the legislation. No ordinances will be passed without them. And the budget. So the mayor would present the budget, but nothing gets done until city council says this is the budget. And then that is the plan that we all live by. Elections, you can always change things. The citizens always have the end say. It's not about unchecked power. We're all elected officials. So it's a big change. I get it. It is a big change. It's a huge change because we are now at a crossroads in our city. Are the people going to be the ones that are going to make the decision? And so sometimes folks with power want to make you feel bad when you are saying, I'm going to exercise my vote or I'm going to sign this petition. You should have no fear because when we stand up together, we cannot be beaten. Progress requires bold steps. And again, the majority of cities, they've got 3 forms of government. The majority of cities are using the strong mayor form of government. And it's heavy. I know it is. So what about tradition? Here this girl come in from New Jersey. She don't know our traditions. Listen, tradition will never outweigh progress. And my goal is not to keep things the same, but to make things better, but always respect our culture, which is why I'm in the streets always, which is why I've created these committees, which is why I sit there and I ask you questions because I wasn't here. Well, tell me about it. Tell me about the block. What would you like to see? What do our kids need? We need the citizens to tell us that. So I get it. I respect it. I respect it more than I have words to really tell you. And I started with it's not politics, it's practical. And I mean that. It may feel like politics because politicians are attacking me. Bad. But I'm okay. God is good. People ask me all the time, are you okay? Are you really okay? And I am really okay. I really am. So first things first is we have to get the signatures. We need to get signatures in order to go to a vote. So it's not like, I'm asking you to sign a signature and then poof, it's happening. No, we got to sign the signatures and then everybody gets a chance to weigh in. And then we have to have 51% of the vote. And then we could change the form of government and it's going to be a process. So this decision is about the future of Mullins. It really, truly is. Are we ready to grow our city? Are we ready to bring jobs to our city? Are we ready to bring housing to our city? Are we ready to elect a council that's going to work together? It's about choosing action over delay. Do we want the trash to linger on our streets? Do we want to be able to have candid conversations about community safety and policing? Do we want somebody that's going to beat the streets to make sure that our firemen have the equipment that they need when today they don't? It's about leadership over limitation. The one thing I heard today over and over again when they were explaining the form of government is, the city of Mullins, we don't have any money, we're limited. No, we're not. We have big opportunities. Big opportunities. I've presented to city council multiple times an opportunity to increase our fees. It would have brought in thousands of dollars by now. Won't even be considered, won't even be heard. Leadership over limitation. Progress over stagnation. And I'm gonna even say progress over going back. We're going back to. We need to move forward. Our city is awesome and we have tremendous potential. So if we want different results, I got this. Hold on a second, I got one. Here it is. Check this out. The question isn't whether change is uncomfortable. The question is whether staying the same is acceptable. So if you happen to be a parent and you're looking at your kids, you tell me, is it acceptable? Is it acceptable for them to have to hear gun violence, pop shots, walk by abandoned buildings, snakes crawling out of them? Is that acceptable? Trash in our streets. And again, I'm not knocking any director because, like I said, what we see is a symptom. The problem is leadership. I'm not knocking any director in this city. You never will hear me say that. Director or chief. Okay, so let me get to your questions. Let's see. For those that don't live in Mullins. Abba says, what can be done for those that don't live in Mullins? I think we can learn from each other. So one of the things that I've done since becoming mayor is I've visited so many cities, right? I wanted to learn from them, learn how they do things, right? So I want to think that there's other cities out there that are sitting with a difficult change or a difficult opportunity. And how about this? You can do it, citizens. If this is something that you want to do, you could do it. And we need to do it. So, hey, Katina. Hey, Lynn. Terry says accountability. Absolutely. Hi, Linda. Thank you. And, the mayor should make the decisions. And it's not in a vacuum, right? So it's not in a vacuum. It's about the structure of government. There's this weak mayor and the strong mayor. And the strong mayor system, I make decisions based on what the citizens tell me, right? What the citizens tell me, not anything that I'm doing on my own. It's the citizens say, this is what we want. And we need to have a city council that's working together. Thank you so much, Jackie. God has me. Thank you. I appreciate that. How will you know what the future looks like if you hold on to the past? Oh, that's deep, Teresa. Ain't that deep? Teresa says, how will we know what the future looks like if you hold on to the past? And see, here's the thing is we can learn from the past. So I have visited Conway a few times. Conway used to be like Mullins. And Conway grew. So it was similar in size. It had similar challenges, and they worked together and they rose from those ashes. Now look at Conway, you know. And when we think about the past, we can learn from the past, right? Like I'm learning from other cities and what they did to rise above. But we can't sit here in our city and say we want it just to be like it was. Our kids are, it's not fair to our kids. Jackie says, this is funny. She says, I'll be glad when all of this is in so I can drive my fancy car on roads without them potholes on them. Listen, Jackie. Okay, so question for everybody. You see what's happening on Main Street. So it's going to be all paved. Just they're working on it. They're working on it. But here's the thing too. As strong mayor, so as weak mayor, I have to ask questions like, "Hey, what's the status of this? What's this? When do we get this?" Like, and I'm that one. I'm always asking the questions, right? But as strong mayor, I'm gonna have weekly meetings with staff. We are going to sit in those meetings, and all the staff is going to work together, and everybody's going to know everything that's going on within their own departments. That's how you handle business. Staff needs to work together. Mayor needs to know what's going on. City council needs to know what's going on. Yeah, yeah, Reagan, I hear that. We lost our vision when the plants went away. We need our vision back. But look, it can come back. I'm telling you, there's conversations. People we're ripe. That because we kept our railroad tracks, that makes us very attractive for businesses, you know. And I've learned a lot about how economic development works. And for businesses to come to town, our state actually requires a certain if you want to get benefits from our state, you have to pay a living wage. And that go a long way in Mullins, especially if we get living wage jobs here in Mullins, and we gotta work on literacy. We got to get our people prepared for the jobs of the future, and we bring in housing. And housing, this is how I've been told in economic development. Rooftops bring retail. We fix all this. We get our rooftops. We get retail. People won't have to go to Florence or Marion to get stuff. They can get it right here in Mullins like they used to. Oh, thank you so much, Estelle. Thank you so much. Hey, Angel. All right, that's the end of my questions. It's been 38 minutes. You know, I appreciate the time today with you guys. You know a lot of people do watch these lives on replay. Sometimes people don't feel comfortable asking questions on live, but let me put my numbers up. Hold on a second. You can call me. You can call me at City Hall anytime, right? But you can also, this is my number that comes to me. And I am having meetups with folks in their neighborhoods, on their front porches, and chat and choose. So if you have some neighbors and you guys are on the fence, let's just have real talk. Because again, it's not about Miko Pickett. It's about the future of Mullins. It's about what I believe and what I've seen after 17 months in this seat would be good for the city of Mullins. So there's my number. Take it down. Call me. Use it. Let's get together. Let's see one more comment. Yeah. Thank you so much. And it's so funny. Reagan says these weekly updates are needed. I had went away from the weekly updates. And I will keep doing it. I love that. Teresa says, push the team concept together, everybody achieves more. Absolutely. Absolutely. And changing our form of government, y'all, is not going to be easy. Because I believe that there's some outside forces that have liked it the way it's been. And for whatever reason. But I'm here to tell you this time for change. It's time for the people to move. And let me just wrap with our elections. I have a statement that will be coming out soon. It's a little bit delayed, right? But it will be coming out soon. But all these changes, 75 years, in 75 years, they never stopped the mayor from being able to create committees and write grants. In 3 decades, we've been voting the same way. And, who knows how many years, they've never took away a mayor's gavel, right? And who knows how long have they ever tried to muzzle a mayor? Try to shut me up. So those are big changes. Those are big changes that are happening right underneath your nose. And I'm going to just say this. Let's just talk about the election, the changing of the election date for a minute. Why would anybody want to change elections from November when everybody votes, November of even years, to April of odd years when nobody votes? Why? And so you tell me that you had an old ordinance. Well, that ordinance ain't no good. So you're creating a brand new ordinance. So if you're going to create a brand new ordinance, create one that keeps it the same. November of even years, let's go. If you're not afraid of the people you serve, then you serve the people. There's more to come on that. More to come on that. But I'm going to leave it at that. Let's get together. Let's call me. There's my number. Let's have some meetups. Again, if you have a specific question, no matter what it's on, you can reach me at City Hall or you can reach me on this line. You can text me here as well. And I'm looking forward to having these conversations. And hopefully, I'm going to be putting out some of my slides over the next let's see. I'm not sure I understand what you're saying, Katrina. I'm going to come back to you in a second. I'm going to be putting out some slides, so if you have any questions, let me know. Katrina says, my trash was finally picked up. Did you agree on transportation? So let me tell you what happened. And our debris, so we've been picking up the trash regularly. The cans, boom, they pick them up. Sometimes our overhead truck that does like the big dumpsters, sometimes that's breaking. We have very old equipment in the city, y'all. Problem. But the county has let us use their debris truck. So that's why we're out there, thank you God, picking up, because the welder is taking longer than expected to fix our debris truck, the one that we bought. So, so the county has helped us to letting us use their truck. And that's how our hard-working Parks and Work guys are out there picking up. So hopefully, Katrina, that answers your question. And I'm glad that they were able to finally pick it up. We got a whole lot more trash to pick up, But yeah, thank you so much for that comment. And have a wonderful Monday, everybody. And I will see y'all in these streets. Bye.